it is the daily him and her love reading. And so let's see what the discussion is between the him and the her for the day. See what they talking about, whoever the him and her comes up to be. Alright, so let's see, what's the focus here? So the sun, that's a nice energy to have as a focus in a relationship, right? Creativity, children, romance, happiness, warm energy, clear energy. Right, that's a nice energy to have between him and her. So let's see what he's talking about over here. Woo. Obviously, he got some things to talk about, right? Alrighty, so, oh boy, that already came out today. The 9 of hazards, the work, the build, right? The reaping after the repetitiveness and, the focus of making it work. It takes hard work to maintain and create happiness and balance and warmth and all of that stuff. So let's see what the her is talking about over here. The page of hazards. Alright, so, messages coming in physically, youthful, attractive, like to, create. So let's see what else is coming up. These are, these could definitely be two earth energies dealing with each other here. And they have, they are very similar to a degree. Even though one is, the feminine may be a little bit, extra when it comes to certain things. So let's see. The star, the hopes, the wishes, the dreams and desires coming into place. And then you have this 5 of wands. So, the focus here for the him and her is to kind of stay in this energy here. Creative, happy, romantic, love energy. This feminine, she may be a little bit younger, a little bit young-minded when it comes to certain things, certain discussions, especially, when it's talking about, finances and the physical realm and stuff like that, and a little bit catty, right? But at the end of the day, this masculine works hard to make his wishes, dreams, and desires come through, especially when it comes to gravitating and pulling towards a particular feminine principle that he might want to be with or that he is with, right? So he has no problem with putting in the work with his feminine, for his feminine principle or with his feminine principle, which is always nice to know, right? And so you got this Ace of Swords here that comes down. That's the gift of communication, right? And then you have this Knight of Coins that come down. So, this is a lot of physical energy when it comes to this feminine principle. With the little competition and catty, energies. And I'm sorry, this is 5 of Swords. I don't know why I've been doing that today, but this is 5 of Swords. Very conflicted, but still very feisty in that way. With this masculine, okay, he kind of got the gift of gab. He's an open and clear communicator. He puts in his work and to manifest what he wants, especially when it comes to either pulling this female towards him or staying with this female. Thought, communication, speaking, he's able to kind of get to her that way. But she still has this aggressive energy here. I'm going to see what's going on with this one right here. And guess what? It's still work that has to be done with the female. This may be somebody that's in school or may want to go into school. Also, he might be in a relationship with somebody that's in school studying something. But we're going to see. But very aggressive and very feisty, very conflicted sometimes with the thought. The thing that's interesting, though, is that it seems like he has this ability to communicate with her in a particular way. So let me see. And you got this Hermit energy that comes down here. You got this 9 of Swords energy that comes down here. And so when you're dealing with the 9 of Swords, you're kind of dealing with stress, right? And this particular female comes with conflict, stress. She's a little bit, immature probably when it comes to dealing with the relationship. A lot of it's more physical than anything else, right? But with him, he has the power to communicate and get things done even when he's not around. For some apparent reason, he has this little ability to kind of get what he wants, even if he's not around this particular female, which is very interesting. It's like he could think something, speak something, communicate something, and it kind of can move her energy a little bit. The overall, though, for these two is to always try to stay in this sun energy in a positive light, right? Even if there's a pull, even if this is a masculine that's trying to manifest and pull a female, she can't even get to him unless she gets through this sun energy, and vice versa. They have to be at this point. They have to come across at this point. Let me see what else is going on right here. Let me see what's going on with the Hermit. The Hermit is like, you can't touch me. Okay, he's somewhere chilling, doing whatever he's doing, working on whatever he's working on, building and creating, putting his thoughts and his communications out there. Ace of Cups, yeah, and he has a loving energy also. The Two of Swords. There's some things that she's not seeing, and she's not addressing when it comes to dealing with her physical reality. When it comes for her dealing with her conflicted thoughts, she may have conflicted thoughts. She may be very aggressive at times, right? And there's some things that she may be repetitively doing, if not studying, right? But that creates this base of stress. Okay. Now, at the end of the day, whoever this masculine is able to use communication. He's able to use the heart chakra, right? He's able to work on these things while not even being around, just and still manifest the things that he wants with this particular female or out of this female. Okay. But in order for it to happen, in order for these paths to cross or stay together, they always have to end up in this energy right here. And that's not a bad energy to be in. Okay. The sun is not a bad energy to be in at all. Who's right here? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let me see what else is going on in the sun. Matter of fact, let me see what this Five of Swords is. If you pay attention, her swords is right here. His swords is right here. Okay. So both to the left. So let's see what's going on here. Page of Wands. Page of Cups. So, this is fighting fire with water kind of energy. This is, when she gets into this kind of conflicted, aggressive energy, he has to communicate with her in a particular way, right? And he's able to do it by tapping into this pure aspect of emotion to get her pure action and motion and movement to kind of simmer down. It's like it's so weird how this is going here. It's very interesting, I must say so myself. This particular him and her, very interesting. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be earth signs, but they have earthy ways also. And when you have this page that has it, one could probably say, he might be one of these energies that's like, this feminine here is spoiled, and it may not see it or notice it or recognize it, so he might feel that way about it also. But let me see what else is going on here. This is very interesting how this communication takes place. I must say, this is definitely an interesting situation here. Yeah, the Nine of Wands. So this is with, first off, again, like I said before, in order for them to stay in the same energy or even cross the same paths, they have to be in a sun energy. And when they get in a sun energy, it gets a little bit warish. Okay, so that means that it's about her having to fight to be in this particular energy, him having to or have had to fight to be in this particular, and then it has to be protected, right? It has to be safe. There's a throw off here though. because I still find it to be this amazing. Like, what is Mr. Man over here able to think, communicate, and speak about, when she gets in this energy? Like, he's able to kind of shift her energy. Is he like literally just moving energy through the ethers, or is he actually doing something? Is he like moving because he's not around her right now? He got this hermit up. He's not around her. And, that may cause her some stress to a degree. Either that vibration is not there or he's physically not there. Something is not there. Let me see. What's not? Is he not there? He's not there. He's not with her right now. It's something with this one right here. Let me see. What is it with him, though? What is it with her? The Seven of Cups. So, this masculine, he got a nice little situation going on here. New journeys, new movements. Always pay attention with caution and warning, right? Towards this way. But for some reason, this feminine here, maybe a little bit mixy in her thoughts and the way she communicate. And that's probably what's throwing them off. This is about balancing out thoughts, making clear decisions and choices, not being overwhelmed with choices and options and things of that nature. There's some choices that this feminine has to make. That's part of the problem why he's not there right now. Whether it's physically or energetically, he may not be there the way. Something is definitely out of line. What's gonna pull this feminine to the sun? The Ten of Swords. So the thing that's gonna kind of pull this feminine to this energy here of being happy and in bliss and in balance, and the concept of romance and sexual energy and children and all of this kind of stuff is a complete and total revamping of the way one thinks, the one experiences, the way one communicates to a degree. A lot of things is going to end and then regenerate a new opportunity. In order for this to even take place, there's some things that she has to experience, some lows that she may have to experience, some developments that have to take place that will end some things that's not producing properly for her. This masculine knows it. All right, and when she gets to this point, let me see what this Nine of Wands is here. Let me look at this one more time. Because in the general deck, when you're dealing with the Nine of Wands, the man is standing here and he got this wand right here. Right? So let's see what's going on with this. Let's see with him to the sun. We're not even going to deal with him right now with the Nine of Wands. We're going to look at this to the sun part. The Hangman. So what brings him and her in this same vibration is they're seeing things totally different and having this understanding that there's things that'll pull you down, people that'll pull you down, people that will try to keep this connection from taking place, whether it's a physical connection, a spiritual connection, simply an emotional connection, right? There's things that's being put out there, that has been put out there. There's sacrifices that have to be made that he's gonna be like, well, and do he want to do that? Is he, but these still requires changes. This is a change in the way he sees this feminine, and that change will come when certain things end or are at an end, and then new opportunities. Because when these ends come for this particular female, these is like, people, places, things, ways of thinking, ways of behaving, ways of acting, ways of feeling, right? It changes the vibration altogether. And then it all the way forces a change with this Hangman right here. seeing things from a different perspective. It doesn't necessarily have to be stagnated or sacrificed, but seeing things from a different perspective. In this particular deck, he's seeing things from a different perspective. He's stuck out there, everybody coming for him, but he still got his weapon in his hand, so he's still with it. Okay, so let's see. Now we'll look and see right here where this 10 and this hangman meet on this end. The Two of Cups. Exactly. These things have to take place. He's just a little bit ahead of the game than the feminine for some reason or another. And it's some childishness, some spoiled ways. And for some reason, this not physical connection, that's still a connection. But it still brings this partnership or a relationship about. A strong one at that. This is an interesting him and her. I'm telling you. This is a very interesting him and her. And the way this him and her communicates is a definite interesting situation. I must say so. Whether they are aware that they communicate like this, or whether the universe just has it in place that they communicate like this, or whether there's a manipulation that creates what happens is, if this is a manipulation in a physical reality, the manipulation could not be allowed if the ethers did not allow it. And if this is against the ethers, it will reset. I don't see that. I have the sun here. I have this Two of Cups here. I have these changes and this feminine that changes the perception and view of this masculine. And I don't see it being in a bad light right now. It's just a very interesting, weird journey taking place. But he may be moving in a little bit of a higher frequency right now. So it's like a seesaw kind of thing. It'll balance itself out. The Two of Cups says so. The Sun says so. It'll balance itself out. And that's just that. So anyway, smooches and deuces. Shout out to this particular him and her. Y'all have a very interesting communication cycle going on. And, one of the things that the feminine principle is going to have to do is not, obsessively, but definitely have to tap into a higher frequency to understand what is smoothing her out when she gets into this Five of Swords energy, what is connecting to her to try to tame this Page of Wands energy, what's going on with this Page of Hazards energy, and, what is she not seeing in this Nine of Swords kind of energy, this stressful kind of energy that's taking place, and the confusion and the chaos and the choices and the options and, delusion and illusion. Is that so? Is that so? Is that so? That's what has to be looked at. And is this based on a repetitive behavior, okay, in a physical reality? Okay, because now this is not even so much in the ethers right now. If this was just stable in the ethers, then this would be, all right, well, somebody's addressed the etheric aspect of the situation, and now they trying to address the physical aspect of the situation. It'll balance itself out. The Two of Cups say so, and so does the Sun. Smooches and deuces. See y'all later.